Whoa. Whoa. This is your man, Steve here, and welcome to Classified Captures. Now, have we got an episode for you, so don't you go change it. So, what we got here, the first one. A man launches a rocket on water and compares it to a rocket launch in space that looks similar. He considers it proof of the firmament, aka waters above the sky. But isn't the firmament, like supposedly the ozone layer? Or am I just talking rubbish? I'm not sure about this whole firmament thing. Are we like supposedly living in just like this gigantic dome? And when a rocket goes up, it breaks this dome? Well, surely if there was a firmament supposedly surrounding the Earth that was like a dome, it would have been built in a way that could withstand anything. I'm not one of these flat Earth firmament kind of guys, so I don't know. Ghosts. Are you a believer or are you a disbeliever? Are you a believer in spirits? Because I'm a believer in spirits, right? I absolutely believe in spirits because I've seen them with my own eyes. You can't unbelieve something that you've seen. Ghosts, I have a bit of a iffy problem with because they just remind me, that name, it just symbolizes someone walking around with a sheet over their head going, woo. But this guy here anyway believes that he's seen a colleague of his. Deceased colleague of his. So let's take a look and see what we got. I'm not seeing anything. Okay. There's no head. Is it me or does that look a little bit too solid to be a spirit? Plus, am I looking at a shadow too? No, this is fake. Spirits don't have shadows. They're not solid forms. They don't have shadows. So whatever this is, it's. I don't know whether it's clickbait or they actually believe that they saw something that shouldn't be there. But spirits, they don't have shadows. So I personally think this is fake.
Have you seen this prison footage of Ghislaine Maxwell? Because the moment you notice what people are pointing out, it becomes difficult to unsee. The video shows her alone inside a prison cell. The camera is mounted high above, looking down from an angle that captures the entire room. She walks slowly from one end to the other, pacing back and forth. Nothing seems unusual at first. It's the kind of restless movement you might expect from someone confined to a small space, aware that they're constantly being watched. But then she stops. She walks to the bed, lies down on her back, staring upward toward the ceiling. Her body remains still. And that's when something strange happens. The camera appears to glitch, if only for a moment, a brief freeze, a distortion, but During that instant, her face changes. It no longer looks like the face people recognize from countless public photographs. Instead, it appears shrunken, warped, almost unfamiliar. Some viewers insist it doesn't look like it's human. That single moment was enough to ignite intense discussion online. Rumors that had already been circulating suddenly felt more real to those who believed them. Some claim that she's not actually there at all, that the real Maxwell is free, and the person in the cell is nothing more than a stand-in placed there to maintain the illusion. Others have turned to an even darker and more extraordinary explanation. A long-standing theory that certain elites are not human but reptilian beings hiding in plain sight. According to those who believe it, being confined and unable to sustain themselves the way they normally would could cause their true form to begin showing through. Adding to the mystery, some have pointed out that if you rearrange the letters in Maxwell's name and the name of Jeffrey Epstein, you can spell the word reptilian. I mean, looking at the letters, not all of them, but you get it, right? Right now, a camera glitch is the simplest explanation. Digital distortion happens all the time, especially in surveillance footage. But when a single frozen frame creates a face that looks completely different from reality, it leaves behind a question that technology alone cannot easily erase. Was this nothing more than a technical malfunction, a carefully placed decoy, or did that brief moment reveal something that was never meant to be seen?
Now we got something that enters Earth's atmosphere. Is it a UFO? Is it something that's earthly, or is it something else entirely?
Barstow, and I'm seeing this right now.
Whoa.
I don't know what the hell that is. SpaceX, maybe? I don't know. What the hell is that? Crazy.
That looks like a planet with a ring around it or something like that. Yeah, that's freaky, I gotta say. That's pretty freaky. I'm not sure what the hell that is. Have we got any weather people? Is that the right word that you call them? Any weatherologists? You know what I'm talking about. Anybody who can explain this as a natural phenomena, or are we looking actually at something that's not of this world? I know the word, okay? I know the word, it's just gone for a second. No, I can't think of it. Now we got a guy called Robert Oral Dean, who believes that abductions are by 4 different types of alien species. He believes they're trying to create new species. That's interesting. He thinks they're trying to create a gray-human hybrid.
Of these advanced extraterrestrial high-technology civilizations, they, whoever they are, continually demonstrate that the development of some kind of program is underway. The abduction scenario. That's simply part of the entire program, because not only has it been happening, it's been going on for a very long time, and it's going to continue to happen. What we are becoming is going to be a different species that we as Cro-Magnons were beyond poor old Neanderthal.
I mean, I've heard this for quite a while, that the reason that we as a species are so far advanced to anything else on Earth is apparently something to do with the fact that possibly we're already a breed of alien hybrid species, you know. I mean, obviously you could stick me or you in a cage with a lion and would not win. So when it comes to the strength and the survival of the fittest in certain situations, we're not as advanced, but here, absolutely. Interesting.
Of these advanced extraterrestrial high-technology civilizations, they, whoever they are, continually demonstrate that the development of some kind of program is underway. The abduction scenario. That's simply part of the entire program, because not only has it been happening, it's been going on for a very long time, and it's going to continue to happen. What we are becoming is going to be a different species that we as Cro-Magnons were beyond poor old Neanderthal.
Kids are naturally imaginative. That's why when they say something strange, most adults assume it to be harmless. Just a dream, just fear, just their minds playing tricks on them. And that's exactly what this couple believed when their daughter kept telling them the same thing every night. She said someone was standing outside her window watching her. Each time they checked, each time there was no one there. The window was clear, no movement, no sound. Eventually they stopped worrying. They assumed she was scared of sleeping alone or just wanted their attention. Then one night, everything changed. The children were playing a video game before bed when the girl suddenly said it again. Someone was at the window. This time the mother was already recording. At first nothing seemed out of place, but as the camera slowly turned toward the window, something appeared. A head peeking in, watching. And the moment it noted it had been seen, it disappeared and moved away as fast as if it was gone within seconds. The father immediately ran to check, and there was no one there. No footsteps, no sounds, nothing. They called the police, and even the officers found no one. But one detail made it even more unsettling. The window was wide open. The curtains were open too, late in the evening. That alone made no sense. To this day, they've no explanation for what they saw. Some believe it could have been a person watching the child. Others believe it was something else entirely. Many say children are more sensitive to things adults cannot see. Whether it was human or something beyond explanation, one thing is certain. The child was not imagining it. She saw something. Bears are not the cuddly, friendly creatures we see in cartoons or classrooms. In the wild, they're powerful, unpredictable, and extremely dangerous, and that is why this footage which is circulating online left so many viewers shocked. In the video, a hiker comes face to face with the bear walking straight toward him. Instead of slowly backing up or putting distance between them, he makes a decision that would terrify most people. He climbs a tree. But the danger does not end there. The bear follows. It walks right up to the tree and begins climbing it. Many people do not realize just how skilled bears are at climbing. A tree is far from a guaranteed escape. What made the scene even more alarming was the person filming it. They didn't intervene. They made no noise to scare the bear away. Nothing. It looks like someone is treating a life-threatening encounter as content for the camera, but there's nothing funny about underestimating a wild animal. Bears are strong, fast, and deadly when provoked. One wrong move could cost a person their life. Footage like this is a stark reminder that in the wild, respect is not optional, it's essential.
Коля, ноги дергай.
Давай, вперед, вперед!
Now we got something that could be a break-in, could be something else entirely. So I'm guessing that, by the way, that looked more like a wolf than a dog. To me, anyway. So I'm guessing when the man runs in that room, it's connected to the other door. So there are two doors with just the one room. The man is supposed to enter, turn into a dog really quickly, and then come out the other way, like some kind of a shapeshifter or something like that. Where did the dog go afterwards? The dog's reacting, so I guess this is obviously real in some shape or form. I'm just not sure in what context it is. Can someone brighten the situation for me?
AI has advanced incredibly fast. Compare video and image generation from 2023 to now, and the difference is staggering. Today, it can almost be impossible to tell what's real and what's AI generated. But a year or two ago, the technology was not nearly as seamless. That's why this particular video has left so many viewers questioning what they're seeing. The footage was taken in 2023 by a man in a small coastal village in Mexico. One night, he noticed a strange figure walking through the town toward the ocean. It was extremely pale, almost white with long black hair and pointed ears, like something out of a fairy tale. Its body appeared wrapped in a sack-like cloth and it seemed to be carrying a bag. At one point, the figure noticed the man filming. It turned its head to look directly at him, then continued calmly on its way. What stands out most is how it moves. It doesn't walk normally, instead it seems to glide on its toes, slowly making its way through the town toward the shoreline. The footage doesn't show obvious signs of editing. If this were AI from 2023, there would likely be glitches, distortions, or inconsistencies. Because of that, some viewers believe it could be a real marine humanoid, a siren-like creature, or even an elf-like being. But others pointed out a simpler explanation. A person in prosthetics or makeup could easily appear otherworldly at night. Whatever the truth, the footage leaves a haunting question hanging in the air. What really walks the shoreline when the town is asleep? In Taipei, Taiwan, eyewitness footage has left many people scratching their heads. The sky's bright, clearly daytime, and at first you see what looks like the moon. You know how sometimes the sun is out and you can still catch a faint outline of it. Well, that's exactly what this appears to be, until it moves. In the footage, the object drifts from left to right of a massive skyscraper, passing behind it, and then reappears on the other side. It moves fast and steady. The moon does not cross the sky like that within seconds, yet this object does. The person filming simply follows it with the camera as it glides along, and the footage is unnervingly smooth. Because of that, viewers are divided. Some insist it cannot be the moon, others speculate it could be China's artificial sun project. And then there are those who believe it might be a cloaked UAP deliberately disguised to resemble the moon. Whatever it is, the footage leaves one question impossible to ignore. What exactly was moving across the Taipei sky that day? Back in 2021, a strange sighting was reported in Hampshire County, England. Unlike the usual, crop circles have long been linked to theories of extraterrestrial contact, and this formation was no exception. Many believe these designs are a form of communication, symbolic messaging, or warnings encoded in geometry and imagery. As with most crop circle cases, the mystery is not whether the crops were flattened, it's who created the message and why.
Okay, apparently we're about to watch cosplay on a completely different level by someone called Dalawatian, who is a Chinese cosplayer. Okay, let's take a look. Whoa! My God! How the hell? That's impressive. I mean, let's be honest with you, that's impressive. How much money must she have spent to get all of these bits that look so real? And I mean, this girl's a master makeup artist, let alone anything else. This is incredibly clever. Nothing alien, nothing paranormal, it's all cosplay, but my God. Yeah, that's pretty stunning, right?
是真人吗？真人吗？说话说话，真人吗？姐姐，姐姐。
Now we got a guy called Phil Schneider, and this is the Preparedness Expo in Denver. Never heard of that before, but this footage is old. It was taken in 1995. And he claims he was lowered into a deep government project cavern where he confronted tall gray aliens.
I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and I saw a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. I reached for my pistol, and I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. In the process, one of them just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. Burnt my fingers right off of me, and there was a green beret that was right behind me. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. He died, and I wouldn't be alive talking to you today. I'm forever indebted. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, lost their lives because the government lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat.
I mean, if there are aliens here, surely they come in peace. They're going to be so far advanced. Why would they come here and just threat violence? To me, the only time that thing retaliated was because it got fired upon. And this has always been my trouble with human beings. You know, so scared of anything that's completely out of the ordinary, instead of just like thinking about it, straight away violence. So, you know, if this is really true, I don't blame the thing for retaliating. You know, could you? I mean, you're not going to just stand there and take it if someone shoots you, or one of your friends, or whatever the situation is. So this is you see this in films all the time, but I can imagine in real life this would be exactly the same thing as well. Which is why I would almost implore aliens, if you're up there, don't come to Earth. Because human beings are just assholes. All they're gonna want to do is try and capture you, open you up, and see what you're made of. Because that's all they care about, you know?
I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and I saw a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. I reached for my pistol, and I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die.
Now, are we seeing a mermaid? Something fishy that's slightly human? Said a million times before, where we got cameras so good these days, there is no excuse for grainy footage. So I believe this is AI made to look grainy and blurry just to cover up the fact that it's AI and just make it look maybe a little bit more real. But I don't know. The ocean is the most unexplored place on the planet. What's to say that these guys don't exist? What do you
Some of the richest and most powerful families and monarchs ruled through tightly controlled bloodlines. Many practiced inbreeding, keeping their marriages within the family to ensure that wealth, titles, and status stayed concentrated. Power remained in the bloodline generation after generation. Over time, this practice led to deformities and serious health problems in certain royal lines. Today, inbreeding is widely frowned upon. Science has shown just how harmful it can be, and socially, it's no longer accepted. Yet even now, certain powerful families like the Rothschilds and other elite dynasties maintain relationships tightly within select circles. Is it simply about keeping money and influence inside the family, or is there something deeper behind the lengths these bloodlines go to protect who joins their ranks? There has long been a theory that aliens are living amongst us disguised as humans. According to believers, the only way to spot them is by noticing physical features that don't match typical human traits. Recently, a woman shared a video of a person who at first glance looks unusual. Online, viewers quickly claimed this individual was not human at all, but a Zeta reticulum, an alien said to have a distinct facial structure, thin features, an unusual skin texture. The shape of the head, the tone of the skin, the markings around the neck only added fuel to the speculation. But there's a far more plausible explanation. The person may have a rare medical condition known as Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome. Progeria affects roughly 1 in several million people and causes rapid aging in children. It alters facial structure, skin texture, and body proportions. Skin can appear thin or discolored, the head may look larger in proportion to the body, and veins may be more visible. To someone unfamiliar with the condition, these features can seem extraordinary. Unfamiliar does not mean alien. Rare genetic disorders can create appearances that are strikingly different from what most people expect. So before jumping to extraordinary conclusions, it's far more responsible to consider what science already knows. Shadow beings, often called shadow people, are some of the most talked about entities in paranormal circles. Some believe they're protective or neutral spirits, while others think they're negative, even dangerous. The truth is, no one really knows. In the first video, a woman notices 3 shadow figures against a garage door. They look like 3 men wearing long coats and hats. According to her, no one was supposed to be on the property at the time, which makes the sight especially unsettling. There are no visible bodies, only shadows. In the second clip, a mother discovers something strange in the photos taken by her son. In one picture, the shape of a small child seems to be standing in the room. Some family members suggest it could be a reflection or motion blur, but to her the figure looks distinctly human, just smaller. Both incidents match the classic description of a shadow person. Were these mere tricks of light, or something far more mysterious? What do you think?
Now, anyone who's ever been to a hospital, which is pretty much everybody, knows there are places that feel, well, you can certainly feel your mortality, whether you wander in there to visit someone or whether you're actually there for something yourself. We got someone here who captures on a CCTV camera, I believe, a spirit or an entity looking over someone who then died a few hours later. That's the idea, but let's look.
In an unnamed hospital. The dark figure appeared hours before the patient died. This viral surveillance camera capture has captivated ghost hunters and skeptics alike. What do you see happening here?
Is that a bed it's standing on, or a desk, or something like that? It's got a hood on. It's a bit Grim Reaper-ish. Yeah, that's a bit freaky, isn't it? But there have been stories from nurses and doctors and all sorts of people where, you know, they've seen souls leaving bodies, they've seen all sorts of strange stuff, and if anything strange is going to happen, it's going to happen in the hospital, let's be honest. Life and death is taken from us and given to us every day in these places, and you just never know.
This is the third thumb. So it's a flexible thumb that's controlled with 2 motors that's worn on the wrist. On my left foot is doing this movement, so it's pulling up and back, and it's proportional, so I can go fast or slow. And then my right toe is doing this, pulling across.
Scientists are now suggesting that we might need an 11th finger, which they're calling the third thumb. That's right. They think our human bodies aren't perfect as they are, and we need some modifications. This fascinating invention comes from a team of researchers at Cambridge led by Professor Danny Claude and Tamar Markin. The third thumb is a prosthetic device designed to be worn on the side of the hand, providing an extra digit to assist with various tasks like gripping tools, playing musical instruments, or even typing faster. Think about it. How much could our daily lives change with this added dexterity? For example, holding a coffee cup while typing an email or using a smartphone more comfortably. The idea of augmenting our bodies with extra parts is both thrilling and a little intimidating. Would you be up for trying out a third thumb? Nature does have its quirky side, and those clouds in the sky are no exception. Take a gander at this peculiar patch of clouds, and it's no wonder people's imaginations start running wild with thoughts of aliens and paranormal activities. But fear not, my friends, because these are none other than lenticular clouds. Now, before you start picturing flying saucers and cloaked crafts, let me reassure you that lenticular clouds are considered a normal phenomenon. They may appear somewhat out of the ordinary, especially when they hang solo in the sky, but rest assured, it's just nature doing its thing. Once again, Julius was the one who told me this. If you're like Aaron and believe the sky gods or aliens are responsible, please feel free to believe that. Who knows, perhaps this lenticular cloud thingy is just a false rumor being spread by aliens.
Pretty sure I just saw it out there.
In this next footage, a man is woken up in the middle of the night by some strange noise coming from outside. As he comes out, he's faced with this creature in the woods.
Oh, whoa. Standing right there. Let me try and zoom in. Holy crap.
An alien-like creature with its head popping out from behind some bushes. The creature has a huge head and a long, skinny neck. As the creature noticed the man had spotted it, it slowly backed into the forest and vanished into the darkness.
Holy crap, I haven't seen that fucking close before.
In the footage, the man whispers that he's never seen one close up before, meaning these creatures are nothing new. He's been seeing some of these creatures around his property. The location is unknown, so there's not much investigation we can do about this sighting. What do you think of this encounter? This next one might look like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie or some AI-generated weather phenomenon, but believe me when I say it's not. You're actually seeing a person in a high-voltage suit putting it to the test. That metal ball at the top is generating volts of electricity that zap through the air, creating a spectacle that resembles a lightning storm. The sheer amount of voltage is astounding, making the scene both thrilling and a little terrifying. But here's the amazing part. Thanks to the incredibly efficient suit, the person inside is perfectly safe. She can walk around and even touch the zaps of electricity without any harm coming to them. It's a fascinating demonstration of both human ingenuity and the raw power of electricity. It's incredible to think about the kind of technology that allows someone to stand in the midst of what looks like a lightning storm and come out unscathed. Which one of you wants to be the first to try that on?
Yes, I've been attacked by a man in the woods while I was hunting. Please send the police to my location immediately. I cannot stay on the phone. I have to cover him. Please send the police immediately. My name is Jeff McDonald.
Okay, what's going on up there, sir? Can you tell me?
I was attacked by a naked man, and right now he's laying in the woods near me. He's mostly okay, but I'm holding my deer rifle on him. I mean, I'm not going to let him attack me again. I need the police up here now.
Okay, and where is this naked man?
The naked man is laying about 20 feet from me.
Is he alive? Is he?
I believe he's asleep right now, yes. But I'm telling him he can't get up. I'm making him lay on the ground. He attacked me earlier and damn near killed me.
Now let's take a look at another bizarre encounter in the woods. This time a man was out hunting when a naked guy suddenly jumped from the woods and attacked him, screaming, "Sasquatch kills the hunter." When the police arrived, they found the assailant, a 22-year-old man who claimed that Sasquatch was his spirit animal and had commanded him to attack the hunter. Could this be a sign of mental illness? It's hard to say now since the event took place in 2013. People can be scarier and more unpredictable than the animals and mythical creatures we fear. The sheer oddity of a naked man claiming to be driven by a Sasquatch spirit or attack a hunter is something straight out of a wild story. What do you think could have been going on?
Okay, and you got him held at gunpoint?
Yes, I do. This is a real emergency. I need real police in the quick.
I understand that. Okay.
Because I only have one option here, and you know what it is.
What creatures do you think we are looking at here? This footage surfaced back in 2018 from a farm in Indiana, and it shows what I can only describe as a hideous-looking creature. The body of the creature looks like that of a goat, but its long neck and strange face say otherwise. When this footage surfaced on the internet, people were quick to give their opinions about it, and given its appearance, most comments were pretty harsh. Some said the creature was the ugliest animal in the world. Others said it looked like the devil himself, while others called it the monster goat. But after a little research, we found out that this is not a monster goat or the devil himself. It's called a Damascus goat. They're a rare breed of goat with rather distinct features. This one, however, looks this way according to some because of selective breeding. Can the experts confirm or debunk this? If you didn't think Bigfoot or the Sasquatch was real, perhaps this next footage might change your mind. Enjoy. Once the footage starts, we're introduced to a crime scene. In a second or two, we see something dark, furry, and tall move in the background. Enter our Bigfoot. At this point, any skeptic might think that it's nothing more than a man in a costume. If you're one of those, you're forgiven. The creature moving in the background then easily picks up a tree and then hits the ground or another tree with it. Not particularly sure what it's doing, but you have to admit that it takes some strength and power to pull that off, and no man can do that. If you're a skeptic, what do you have to say for yourself after seeing this clip? A group of friends were out on the ocean in a speedboat enjoying the sun and the waves when they noticed something unusual moving on the water's surface. At first, it was so fast that they thought it might be a bird. But what would a bird be doing skimming so low over the water like that? As they got closer, they realized this was no bird. It was a strange-looking creature gliding above the waves. The friends watched in amazement as the creature seemed to fly over the water, moving with incredible speed and grace. In fact, it was a fish. Yes, a flying fish, and yes, a fish that flies. They exist even if they could only glide for a few meters before going back in the water. Flying fish have adapted to escape predators by propelling themselves out of the water and gliding through the air. Their long wing-like fins allow them to stay airborne for an impressive distance. When threatened, these fish can leap out of the water, spreading their pectoral fins and gliding over the surface before splashing back down. Impressive if you ask me.
Here's a conspiracy theory I think might be true. Last week, a Tesla crashed through a wall of my house. I was home when it happened. The first thing I did was check to make sure my roommate was okay. Then I called 911. Then I went outside and started taking pictures of the crash. My first picture was at 5:07 p.m. My first picture of the tow truck drivers trying to take the Tesla out of here was at 5:10 p.m. It had literally just happened minutes earlier, and so I was like, hey, can we pause for a second? Like, the cops are on their way right now, and the tow truck driver actually said to me, fuck you. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, My house just got ran into. Have some empathy. And no joke, he goes, here's your empathy. And I was like, oh my God, you're being that much of a dick right now? And he goes, get the fuck out of my way. And then he shoved me and he threatened to beat me up and kill me if I didn't let him get the car out of there. So my question is Tesla's automatic crash system alerting tow truck drivers? And are they offering them a bunch of money to get the car out of a situation before news cameras show up? They don't want any more negative press because those tow truck drivers were here so fast and they were so aggressive, there had to be a bunch of money on the line.
We all know the cutting-edge tech that Tesla is bringing out these days, from their highly intelligent robots to their self-driving cars. However, lately, there have been quite a few reports of Tesla cars crashing. Take this situation shared on TikTok. A man's Tesla crashed into his house, and when the tow truck arrived to haul it away, the driver was not willing to wait for the police. He was very aggressive and hostile about it, and when the homeowner insisted he wait, the tow truck driver even threatened to beat him up. The homeowner raised an eyebrow and suggested Tesla might be paying tow truck companies to swiftly clean up Tesla crashes. Sounds extreme, right? But then another commenter on the video chimed in. My uncle is a tow truck driver, and his dispatch always rushes him if it's a Tesla crash. They pay 5 to 10 times more than compared to other vehicles. Tesla is definitely trying to hide all crashes. Well, what's going on here? Could Tesla really be orchestrating cover-ups to maintain their image? It's quite a theory, and while it might sound like something out of a conspiracy novel, it certainly raises questions. Are these high-tech marvels facing more issues than we know? Are they even safe at all? Could this all be treated as a series of coincidences? I don't know about you, but I'm going to investigate this some more. Until then, please do share what you think or any experiences you may have had involving these vehicles.
And he goes, get the fuck out of my way. And then he shoved me and he threatened to beat me up and kill me if I didn't let him get the car out of there. So my question is Tesla's automatic crash system alerting tow truck drivers? And are they offering them a bunch of money to get the car out of a situation before news cameras show up?
While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? You wake up one serene morning, the world outside blanketed in fresh snow after a night of gentle flurries. As you groggily approach the window to take in the wintry scene, you're met with an unexpected sight. A majestic moose, tall and proud, right outside your window. Its breath forms little clouds in the chilly air as it curiously peers into your room, almost as if it's offering a friendly good morning. The moose, with its massive antlers and a coat of snowflakes, seems to embody the peaceful charm of the winter landscape. The internet has become an odd and chaotic place these days. Every day there's something new going viral, with everyone jumping on the trend only to forget about and move on to the next bizarre fad almost immediately. Take this, for example. Right now, there's a wave of videos showing people combing swarms of insects out of their hair. It's honestly disturbing to watch, and the way these videos are spreading, it doesn't feel like a real-life issue. It's most like some viral trend that people are just following without a second thought. What's the purpose behind it? Can anyone explain what's going on with this bug-infested hair trend? A homeowner in a remote wooded area got an unexpected surprise when his Ring camera captured something unusual one night. Just beyond the edge of the forest, a ghostly white figure appeared, moving slowly across the camera's view. The figure resembles what some called a night crawler. It walked with a strange, deliberate gait, gliding across the ground in an almost otherworldly way, like it was floating. The sight is eerie, with a creature moving silently. Its legs and body look elongated and thin, like something out of a supernatural tale. These night crawlers have been spotted in different areas around the world, often near forests and remote places, adding to their mysterious reputation. Could it be some new undiscovered creature, or perhaps something more supernatural? This next one is definitely a tale straight from the eerie side of the woods. A property owner had noticed that there were a lot of raccoons in the area, so he set up a trail camera to capture some images of the night animals. But oh boy, the surprise that awaited when the footage was retrieved. Among the images, two particularly disturbing shots emerge. Nestled by a tree, a pair of glowing eyes pierce through the darkness. What creature could possess eyes so luminous? Some are quick to suggest a wild animal like a coyote, but there's a catch. This thing seems much larger than your typical four-legged critter. Could this be something like the mythical rake or a skinwalker lurking in the shadows? These creatures are known to have glowing eyes, and they fit the height description. Hold on to your hats, because the weirdness doesn't stop there. A subscriber sent this one in. He came across a tree that was not like any other he'd ever seen. No siree, this tree has an opening that emits a strange red glow. As the camera zooms in, we can tell that there's a fire burning within the tree. Yeah, you heard it right, fire. But here's why it's strange. There's no smoke or signs of the tree burning away. The outer part of the tree appears totally fine. Even if you don't believe in the supernatural like Aaron does, you have to agree that this is very strange, and there may be something happening here that's more than meets the eye. Just how in the world can a tree be on fire inside it without any usual signs of combustion? Situations like this can only be explained as paranormal. Don't you agree? A man was out in the woods when he came across something unusual. He spotted an animal sitting upright on the forest floor, almost like a person. Its head and upper body were partially hidden by some bushes, so he couldn't get a full look at it. But through the leaves, he could just make out a canine-like snout, but no typical dog would sit like this. This sighting has led many to believe it could be a juvenile dogman, given that it wasn't as large as the dogman legends describe. What do you think? While hiking near the Michigan border, a man captured a series of photos that he believed might show a Bigfoot. He was following a clear path through the woods, surrounded by dense bushes on either side, when he suddenly felt uneasy. Glancing to his right, he noticed what appeared to be a pale face staring at him from within the foliage. The face, though only partially visible between the leaves and branches, had a distinct ape-like human appearance that immediately caught his attention. He believes it is a Bigfoot. What do you think? Could this be a glimpse of the elusive Bigfoot, or is there a more ordinary explanation?
A group of friends in Nevada are having a regular night out when all of a sudden their attention is captured by an enigmatic craft in the sky.
Jack, what the fuck?
At first, it looked like it might be your typical airplane, but as they zoomed in, they noticed something odd. The craft was much flatter than our everyday aircraft. It was almost as though it was a saucer. It's also got this intense bright orb around it, almost like a protective shield. So is this a UFO? Well, by the textbook definition, yes, it fits the bill. But some still argue that this could be one of a variety of things: experimental military aircraft, drones, or even a conventional plane with some unusual lighting effects. Having seen it yourself, what do you think? All right, buckle up for this one. Feast your eyes on what's being hailed as one of the clearest UFO sightings ever captured on film. In the vast expanse of the sky, there it is, a classic flying saucer, plain as day. Now, I'm sure the skeptics are rubbing their hands together, ready to throw in their 2 cents. What do you think the skeptics will come up with this time? A man-made drone, some fancy camera trickery, or maybe they'll just tell us it's a weather balloon like they always do? Whatever the skeptics say, one thing's for sure. This sighting is turning heads and fueling the ever-growing belief that UFOs are real.
Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, these UPS trucks are they're like ghosts, man. You can't trust these things. You gotta be careful, because every time I'm at this place, I freaking hear a bunch of weird, crazy noises. Freaking stuff be opening by itself. And stuff be opening by itself. So yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, brother? This will be crazy.
Most of the time, we think of haunted places as old houses, abandoned hospitals, or eerie locations. But it turns out it's not just buildings that can be haunted. Vehicles can be too. Take this UPS truck driver, for instance. He believes that his truck is haunted and even filmed some evidence. Take a look. In the video, he's parked at a station late one night with rows of trucks lined up, all locked up for the night. He's talking about how he thinks the place is haunted when suddenly one of the truck doors slides open by itself. You can see it clearly through his rearview mirror. And that's not all. Moments later, you hear more clicks and doors sliding open as well. Is he onto something? Could these trucks really be haunted?
And stuff be opening by itself. So yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, brother? This will be crazy. Estamos aquí rumbo a Eclipse, pero no sabemos qué.
Have you ever seen the sky do this? No? Well, if you were in Mexico recently, you would have seen something like this. But perhaps, if you had, you would have been as confused as the individual who recorded this and wanted answers. It's not every day you see the sky behave like this. When it does, you've got to know what's responsible. When some members of the paranormal community saw this, they were quick to describe it as alien, perhaps a signal to others or coming from a mothership. As intriguing as that sounds, however, there is no evidence to support it, so it was not accepted. You've seen the clip. What do you think?
Estamos aquí rumbo a Eclipse, pero no sabemos qué.
One night, a woman was out for a walk when she noticed something strange in the sky. Intrigued and a bit puzzled, she pulled out her phone and started recording a video. What she captured was truly unusual, a strange light glowing behind the clouds. It wasn't too bright, but it had this eerie, otherworldly glow to it. As she stood there, watching and recording, the light seemed to shift and move slightly, almost as if it were alive. It wasn't the usual kind of light you'd expect to see in the night sky. It wasn't a plane or a helicopter, and it certainly didn't look like a star or the moon. What could it be? Some people might suggest it's a UFO, a sign of extraterrestrial visitors observing our planet. Others might think it's a natural phenomenon, like ball lightning or a rare atmospheric event that we don't fully understand yet. Julius thinks it's CGI, and Aaron thinks there's really something out there. And personally, I've decided to go with whatever you guys think, so I ask, what do you think we're dealing with here?
UFO, bro. UFO!
A man was parked on the side of the road when a large truck drove by with something quite extraordinary tied to its tail. Yes, you guessed it, a saucer-shaped object. Are they transporting a UFO? We see a lot of UFO footage here and there, some looking very convincing like this one, but most of the time there's not much to go by and the authorities rarely comment on such sightings. Could this be the reason why? Have we already made contact? After all, the shape is undeniably the same as the classic UFO design that has permeated popular culture for decades. On the other hand, it's also possible that we're getting it all wrong, and this is just some sort of material that happens to be shaped like a saucer. It could be part of a large industrial apparatus, a component of a wind turbine, or even a large piece of art or a movie prop. Without further context or official explanation, it's challenging to pin down the exact nature of what's being transported. But what are your thoughts on this?
UFO, bro. UFO!
Like that wasn't strange enough, someone witnessed another strange situation during a solar eclipse in October 2023. For those who haven't experienced it, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the Sun, blocking all or part of the Sun's light. In the video, there appears to be 3 heavenly bodies visible. The first one is a brightest sphere in front, followed by a darker one behind it, and then another brightest sphere behind the dark one. This made the one who recorded the clip believe there was another moon rising. Someone in the original post also saw something similar and shared it. If you know anything about astronomy or our celestial bodies, you know the Earth is supposed to have just one moon. This begs the question, where from the third celestial body? Naturally, this post generated a lot of conspiracies. Some even thought this was a sign that the aliens were behind this. Some also thought that the spirit world and the physical world became connected during these eclipses. One user, however, stated it was not any of these. It's the reflection of the camera lens, he said. We didn't have our cameras out to film during the eclipse, but we know that's definitely possible. The question now is, which of these reasons is the most accurate? Share your thoughts. Have you ever seen a sewer cover dance? If you answered no, then boy, are you in luck. Enjoy. This footage was captured by a man who noticed a sewer cover dancing. It's not a waltz or anything remotely close, but how else do you describe this? There was no one around, no indication of a rope attached to it, which makes the whole thing strange. The man decided to film it, but I'm starting to believe that there are some invisible and invincible entities messing with us humans for entertainment. What do you think? There's been so much weirdness happening lately, it honestly feels like reality is glitching, but sometimes the truth is surprisingly simple. Take this footage for example.
Someone walks into their room only to see the drawers opening and closing by themselves. Now, naturally, the first thought is definitely a ghost. It's a classic haunted house move, right? Random objects shifting on their own, no visible cause, eerily silence in the air. It's enough to freak anyone out, but plot twist. It wasn't a ghost. The person decided to investigate instead of running, and what they found was both hilarious and adorable. Inside the drawer was a cat, their cat, just casually hanging out, playing around, and completely unbothered. The feline had quietly slipped inside earlier without them noticing. From its cozy hiding spot, the cat had been pushing the drawers open and closed. So no demons or ghosts, just one sneaky cat causing a full-blown paranormal scare.
I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
Back in 1999, Bigfoot researcher Paul Freeman went into the Blue Mountains of Washington state. Freeman had been exploring this remote region for years, hoping to find real evidence of the creature so many had only heard about. But on this particular trip, something strange happened. While making his way through the dense forest, Freeman suddenly heard branches snapping, heavy footfalls, and rustling coming from the trees nearby. Trusting his instincts, he quickly grabbed his video camera and began filming. And what he captured has remained one of the most talked about pieces of alleged Bigfoot footage to this day. In the grainy but compelling video, you can see a large upright figure estimated to be around 8 feet tall walking through the forest ahead of him. The creature appears muscular with a domed head and long arms that swing heavily as it moves. It vanishes into the trees after just a few seconds. Freeman's footage quickly spread across the paranormal community, becoming a major piece of evidence for Bigfoot believers. Many pointed to its authenticity, especially considering Freeman's reputation as a dedicated researcher. Skeptics were quick to respond. Some claimed the figure could have been a person in a costume, while others dismissed the whole thing as a hoax. But to this day, no one has definitely debunked the footage. So here we are, decades later, and the Freeman footage still stands as one of the most compelling visual recordings in Bigfoot history. What do you think?
Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
A couple decided to explore their attic one night, since buying the place they'd never ventured up there. But out of the blue, they decided to check it out. They took flashlights and a camera and began scanning the dusty cornice. It was pretty dark and eerie up there. Then suddenly their flashlight beam hit something in the far corner of the attic. It was a tall, pale figure. It popped its head out from behind a wall, staring at them for a brief, chilling moment before slipping back into the shadows. They barely caught a glimpse of it, but knew they had seen something. Without a second thought, they bolted down the attic stairs and didn't look back. What could that creature have possibly been? The ocean truly is one of Earth's last frontiers, full of mysteries and vast unexplored depths. Take a look at this footage as an example of the awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying discoveries being made. A paddleboarder was out on the water when he noticed a huge creature moving beneath the surface, its massive shape cutting through the water from a distance. The creature seemed to be heading toward him, creating a powerful current. As it got closer, a wave of water surged up, washing over the border, and then, just like that, the footage cuts out. Thankfully, the person made it back safely since we're able to watch the clip, but it really makes you wonder what kind of creature could be lurking under those waves, moving with such power. What would you do if you woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of tapping on your window? Would you get up and open it? Well, this man did, and what he saw still has people shaken. It was the middle of the night, everything was quiet until he suddenly woke up to a strange, repetitive tapping on his wooden window. Thinking it might be a neighbor in trouble or maybe someone who needed help, he got up to check. The window was shut tight, but something about the sound made him curious. So he opened it, and that's when things got horrifying. Standing just outside was this creature. It instantly reached its hand through the window bars and tried to swat at the man. Its fingers were long and thin, its body tall and unnaturally skinny, with pale skin that almost seemed to glow in the dark. The most disturbing part was its massive head. It looked almost alien-like. The man panicked and jumped back, and the person filming the whole encounter started freaking out too. You can hear the camera shaking, the breath catching, and the sheer fear in the moment. But thankfully, the creature couldn't get inside. There were iron bars on the window that blocked its full entry. But what was it? People online are torn. Some say it could be a cryptid, maybe even a variation of the rake. Others believe it's an alien. The elongated limbs, the huge head, the dead black eyes, it all fits. Whatever it was not human, and it wasn't there to ask for help. So if you heard tapping at your window at 3 a.m., would you open it? A family was once awakened in the middle of the night by a loud thumping sound that echoed down the street like horses galloping right outside their home. But when they looked out, there was nothing there. No horses, no people, no cars, just an eerily empty street. So the family decided to set up a camera to capture whatever might be causing the strange sounds. Their neighborhood wasn't known to have any horses, especially roaming around at night, so something felt off. And when they finally reviewed the footage, what they saw left them completely shocked. In the dead of night, while everyone was fast asleep, the camera picked up something chilling. These black, shadowy masses, shaped vaguely like horses, raced across the street. You could clearly hear the loud galloping sounds, but these weren't ordinary horses. Their forms were unclear, almost like smoke or mist taking the shape of something once alive. The way the shadows moved looked like some sort of phantom replayed from the past. Were these the spirits of horses that once roamed the land, or something far more sinister?
What kind of shoes are you wearing? Are those Skechers?
Well, they're kind of a part of my feet. But I don't want to give you the shoe size. I'm a little self-conscious about that.
In the world of technology, we're all aware of how Elon Musk is pushing forward with advancements in Tesla robots, making them more sophisticated by the day. Take a look at this recent interaction someone had with one of these robots. He asked the Tesla robot what its shoe size was, and the response was remarkable. Not only did it answer, but the tone was so convincingly human that if you weren't watching, you might actually believe it was a real person speaking. While it's impressive, it's also a reminder that these machines are steadily becoming more human-like in their responses and behaviors.
What kind of shoes are you wearing? Are those Skechers?
Well, they're kind of a part of my feet. But I don't want to give you the shoe size. I'm a little self-conscious about that.
Please, by all means, feel free to move something. Move one of the leaves here, move one of the leaves there, I don't know, whatever you want to move. Move the bike again, or the remote here. Don't be scared. Although I am a little bit scared. It's one of those horrible situations where you kind of want to off. There is no way.
A man had been hearing strange noises in one of his rooms for a while. At first he thought it was just sounds coming from outside, but one day he decided to go in and record to investigate further. And when he did, he realized the noises weren't coming from outside, they were coming from within the room itself. Take a look at what happened next. As he started filming, he kept his distance, pointing the camera toward a corner of the room where he had a piano, a guitar, a flowing vase, and a speaker set up, along with a few other items. He started speaking to whatever might be there, asking if it could move something around to show its presence. At first, nothing happened, but then suddenly the guitar moved. According to him, the guitar had been popped up in that spot for quite a while, and it seemed unlikely that it would just lose balance and shift on its own. He even walked closer, panning the camera to show that there were no strings or wires attached to it, making it clear it wasn't staging the scene. So what do you think? Could this be a strange coincidence, or did something unseen really move that guitar?
Don't be scared. Although I am a little bit scared. It's one of those horrible situations where you kind of want to off. There is no way.
In Perth, Australia, a witness shared this strange footage of the night sky, and it's left a lot of people scratching their heads. In the video, you can see this glowing green orb up in the sky. It looks like it's slowly falling downward, almost like a meteor, but it keeps appearing and disappearing as it moves. 1 second it's there, glowing bright, and the next it's just gone. Then it pops back into view, lower than before, then disappears again. This isn't something you see every day. Some are saying this might be a UFO that could be phasing in and out of our dimension, only visible at certain points as it travels down. That would explain the flickering effect, right? But if it's slipping through realities or cloaking itself, that might be what we are seeing. Others are more skeptical, suggesting maybe it's a flare or a drone or even a meteor with some odd atmospheric effect, but those who were there, they swear it wasn't like anything they'd seen before. So what do you think this was? A craft from another dimension, a cloaked visitor, or just a natural phenomenon that fooled the camera? There are a lot of missing persons cases, especially those involving people who go hiking or camping a deep forest and never come back. If a wild animal has been involved, you'd expect to find some signs of torn clothing, blood, and even tracks, but in many of these cases, there's nothing. That's why some people believe something else is going on, something unnatural, and one case in particular has people shaken. A video was recovered deep in the woods. It belonged to a man who'd gone camping alone and had never returned. The footage captured on his camera was found by a search party several days later, just lying in the dirt. The video starts off calmly. He's filming the forest, setting up his tent, and talking about how peaceful the area is. But later that night, things take a dark turn. While he was trying to sleep, he began hearing strange noises outside his tent and something brushing against the fabric. You can hear the fear in his voice as he whispers to the camera, unsure of what's out there. Then something reaches into the tent. Panicked, he unzips the tent and runs into the darkness, filming everything as he sprints through the trees. At some point, he stumbles into an area filled with strange wooden formations, so he stops to catch his breath, pans the camera around, and that's when we see it. A tall, slender, bipedal creature. It was pale as bone and standing right in front of him. The camera is shaking too much to catch its face clearly, but its form is impossible to miss. Then the footage cuts out abruptly. And that was the last time anyone saw him. To this day, the man has never been found. His body was never recovered. All that remained was that unsettling video. Many believe the creature in the video was a Skinwalker. If that's true, then what happened to this man might not be an isolated incident. How many others have vanished into the trees and were never to be seen again?
Leave me alone. Jesus Christ.
Just in case you were wondering what this is, it's a discovery. At least that's what the one who uploaded the clip online said it was. They were at a construction site when they discovered this hidden cave. Now, while some think this is normal, others think it might lead to something ancient and dangerous. What do you think? Should they go exploring it, or should they leave it alone?
测量一下。 听到了。
Some researchers recently made a breakthrough that's either really cool or seriously unsettling. They managed to create spiders that spin red fluorescent webs. How did they do it? Well, the scientists use CRISPR-Cas9, a powerful gene-editing tool, and injected it directly into the spider's eggs. With some genetic tweaking, they altered the silk-producing genes to include a fluorescent protein. This resulted in webs that glow a vivid red under certain light conditions, and this is something that's never been naturally observed before. It's definitely an impressive scientific feat, but should we be doing this? Spiders are already a major fear for a lot of people. Now imagine walking into your garage or your dark room and seeing glowing red webs stretching across the walls. Not exactly comforting. Some argue that this could help in things like biomedical research, tracking environmental toxins, or even creating ultra-strong fibers for deck and construction. But others are more cautious. What happens if these genetically edited spiders get out in the wild? It might sound paranoid, but when you start rewriting nature, especially creatures as delicate and unpredictable as spiders, it always carries a bit of a risk. So is this a step forward for science, or are we tampering with things we don't fully understand? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, glowing red webs are real now. Would you eat a parasite if I gave you $1 million? Well, I'm no psychic, but I can already hear some of you in your homes shouting, hell no, and, well, yeah, I'm one of them. Before you say any more, allow me to tell you that you've been eating them all along if you've ever had any of these sweets. Hidden in the scarlet glow of your favorite candy or the rosy hue of the luscious dessert lies a dark parasitic secret. The cochineal bug. These tiny vampiric insects cling to cacti, draining them of life, only to be harvested by humans for their blood-red essence, carminic acid. Crushed and processed, their pigment becomes a prized dye used in sweets, yogurts, and even juices, cloaked behind names like Natural Red 4 or E120. Most unsuspecting consumers have no idea that the vivid colors in their treats are born from the dried remains of these clingy crimson parasites, nature's hidden ink, staining our palates with beauty and a whisper of the bizarre. Now that you know the truth, assuming you didn't see our earlier episode, would you keep indulging in your treats, or are you done with them now?
In this next footage, we have a clip captured by a home security camera. The camera caught a strange figure walking up the stairs inside the house. It appears to be a glowing humanoid figure that just appears in the middle of the staircase. Then, without hesitation, it proceeds to climb up to the next floor out of the camera's view. Could this be a spirit making its way through the house, or is there another explanation? What do you think? If you've always thought glitches weren't real, this might change your mind. Take a look. The clip starts off with this motorbike rider riding onto the scene. He stops in front of a house, rushes in, and is chased out. He tries to get on his bike but is pushed by a woman coming from the house into a car that's driving on the main road. Usually people get crushed that way, but he's lucky to somehow end up on the hood of the car. Is that the glitch, you ask? Well, no. If you pay attention to the clip, you notice something falling from the sky to the area right before the woman. It's a bike seat. Also, the moment she pushed him onto the road, someone fell from the sky looking just like the rider. How is this possible? A glitch, maybe? This diver was out in the ocean when he took a quick selfie, but what showed up behind him is absolutely wild. At first glance, it's just a normal underwater selfie, but look closely. Right behind him is a massive creature lurking in the water. It's creeping up on him. The thing is huge, and it has this cold, almost menacing look in its eyes, like it's sizing him up for lunch. What's even crazier is that the diver seems completely unfazed. He's just chilling, posing for a photograph while this giant sea creature floats behind him. Now, at first, people online were losing their minds. Some thought it was a sea monster, others even said it could be a cryptid. But turns out, this isn't some unknown beast, it's just a giant moray eel. And while moray eels can definitely look terrifying, they're usually not aggressive unless provoked. These eels can grow up to 10 feet long, and their mouths are full of sharp teeth. They tend to hide in crevices and coral, but sometimes, like in this case, one might swim out into the open and end up photobombing a diver's selfie. So maybe it wasn't out to eat him, but, well, let's be real, that's one intense underwater surprise. Would you stay calm if you turned around and saw that behind you? This woman had just pulled down her nose mask to take a photograph, but what she captured is something most of us have never seen. Her entire face was streaked with blood, but not from an injury. There was no cut, no trauma, and yet her skin was stained red. But this isn't fake. This was her own blood, and it came from her paws. She suffers from an extremely rare condition called Hemodohydrosis. It's a mysterious and poorly understood disorder where a person literally sweats blood. Doctors believe it's linked to an extreme stress or anxiety where blood vessels surrounding the sweat glands rupture and leak blood into the glands, which then comes out through the skin. It's not something you hear about every day, and in fact, only a handful of cases have ever been documented worldwide. There's still a lot about hemodohydrosis that science hasn't fully explained. Some say it's connected to deep emotional or psychological trauma, others think it could be genetic, but either way, when you see someone with blood seeping from their face, the first thought that comes to mind isn't medical condition. A man and his friend were driving late at night when his friend, who was in the passenger seat, decided to start filming the drive.
As he pointed the camera toward the road ahead, something strange happened. On the side of the road, just in front of the dark woods, a human-like figure appeared briefly only to vanish within seconds, almost as if it melted into thin air. Both friends were taken aback, wondering if what they saw was a ghostly apparition. Some viewers of the footage think it might indeed be a spirit, while others suggest it could have been a trick of the light or a person who somehow slipped quickly out of sight. What do you think? Was this an encounter with the paranormal, or is there another explanation? A man was at an old mining site late one night when he came across something truly eerie. At first, he thought he was just seeing shadows, but as he turned on his flashlight and started recording, it became clear that there was something far stranger going on. There were ghostly figures scattered across the site, appearing as men at work, almost as if trapped in time. These apparitions moved like miners, and you can even hear the faint sounds of tools echoing in the dark. It's haunting to witness these figures toiling away as if forever bound to their work. Some say that certain spirits don't move on after death, but are stuck in a loop, repeating the tasks they performed in life. This footage might just be a chilling glimpse into that endless cycle. This woman had just parked a car outside the gym when something unusual caught her attention. Up on the roof of the building, there was the strange, dark, shadowy figure. At first glance, she assumed it might just be a person standing up there for some odd reason, but after watching for a few moments, she noticed it wasn't moving at all. The figure had an odd shape. Its head was perfectly round and its body was stiff and unnaturally straight, like it was just propped there. She waited, expecting some sort of movement, but nothing happened. This led to some wild speculation. Some said it was a piece of abstract art, but some felt there was something off about it. There were whispers online suggesting that this could be an entity that's somehow attached to the location, maybe some kind of urban spirit or shadow being silently observing from above. So what exactly did this woman say? Out in the quiet woods of Oregon, a woman was fixing up an old cabin she'd just inherited. She brought her toddler and a dog along with her to spend a few days cleaning and furnishing the place. At first, everything seemed normal, just an old, slightly run-down cabin near the forest. But as the days passed, something started to feel off. The dog, usually calm and well-behaved, would randomly growl and bark at the corners of the cabin where there was nothing there. Even her toddler began talking to someone who wasn't there. One day, she was sitting in a car park just outside the cabin taking a break while her child napped in the back seat. She looked up at the second-floor window near the doorway, and that's when she noticed something. There was movement. A dark, shadowy figure passed across the doorway inside the cabin, but the thing is, no one else was in the house. She caught the figure on camera. Take a look and you'll see as the figure moves from the doorway into the cabin. Since then, she's been too scared to go back alone. Some say the cabin might be haunted. Something might have been living in it long before she ever arrived. All we know is that animals and children tend to sense things that we can't see, and in this case, they did react to it. So what do you think was in the cabin? Tell me you saw that translucent being walking at the top of the building where the individuals dancing are. If that confuses you, it doesn't confuse me one bit because I found out what day this was taken. If you have watched Pixar's Coco cartoon from 2017, then you would understand this better. For those unfamiliar with it, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is a vibrant Mexican festival from October the 31st to November the 2nd, celebrating and honoring deceased loved ones in a lively, joyous way. Rooted in both indigenous and Spanish Catholic traditions, the festival centers on welcoming the spirits of the dead back to the earthly realm. Key customs include setting up altars known as ofrendas in homes and cemeteries, decorated with photos, marigolds, candles, and favorite items of the deceased. Marigold flowers, called Kempastul, are known as flowers of the dead, and their fragrance and color are believed to guide spirits back to their families. Colorful symbols like sugar skulls, calaveras, and skeletal figurines, often in festive attire, represent the celebration's lively spirit and the natural cycle of life and death. La Catrina, a popular skeletal figure in European dress, symbolizes the blend of indigenous and colonial influences. Celebrations also include parades, music, and dancing, with participants often painting their faces as skulls to celebrate rather than fear mortality. Though it coincides with Halloween, the Day of the Dead has a unique cultural focus, emphasizing joyful remembrance over fright, where families cherish the memories of loved ones with warmth, laughter, and community. Perhaps that's why the translucent being was not malicious.
¡Mira, la nave! La nave! ¡Les dije!
A man spotted something unusual in the night sky just as he was getting ready to go to bed. It was a tiny glowing orb floating high above, casting a faint light around it. As soon as the orb vanished, the entire sky flashed a strange light blue, then faded back to darkness. Just when he thought it was over, the sky lit up blue again, only to disappear back into the blackness moments later. What could this possibly be? Was it a celestial event, some form of atmospheric phenomenon, or maybe even something out of this world?
¡Mira, la nave! La nave! ¡Les dije!
On May the 16th, 2025, something strange happened across multiple states in the US, and it has everyone talking. People from different places started sharing short videos and photographs online, all showing the same eerie sight. A bright streak of light shooting either into or from the sky. It wasn't just one or two clips, it was seen by dozens of witnesses from completely different locations. But here's where things get weirder. Some people swear they saw the beam shoot up into the sky, while others insist it came down from above, almost like it landed somewhere. There's no official explanation yet, and everyone's just left guessing. With how perfectly aligned these sightings were and how strange the light looked, what do you think this could have been? Because honestly, this one is hard to explain. The clip on your screen was captured in September 2023 by a hunting party. It was meant to be another great bow hunting expedition until they started hearing strange sounds in the woods. Thinking there was a bear with them, they set up a camp, putting in the necessary precautions. They even got their Trailcam set up just in case they caught something interesting. They then returned to their tents for the evening, and nothing eventful happened all night, and they concluded they were worried for nothing. That was until they reviewed the Trailcam footage and realized something visited them that night. It was big, hairy, and dark. It also had the ability to stand in a humanoid stance. One of them initially thought that was proof of a bear there with them, but as they repeated the part of the footage where the creature appears, it became apparent that whatever that was, it was no bear. That's when it hit them. It could be a Bigfoot, but they weren't believers in that nonsense, or so they told themselves. Then they uploaded the clip soliciting views. If you haven't already noticed what I'm referring to, take a good look at the top left corner. You should see a pair of eyes coming into view. Who or what do you think those eyes belong to? Let's hear your thoughts and theories in the comments section.
Solo si se me acerca se oye como ronca.
This train station has had numerous reports from employees who claim to have heard screams, cries, and mournful sounds. But whenever they go to investigate, there's never anyone there. Recently, some new employees experienced the same eerie noises and managed to capture them on camera. In the footage, you can clearly hear distant cries coming from the train tracks, but there's no one around. Many believe these sounds could be the lingering cries of victims from past train accidents at the station. What do you think? If you live in North Carolina, then this first clip is for you. 43 monkeys have allegedly escaped a research facility where they were being used for testing various drugs. At the time of making this video, no one had been hurt or attacked by the monkeys. Nevertheless, people couldn't help but wonder if they were still safe. It's almost as though the rise of the planets of the apes was unfolding right before our eyes. But then again, that's purely fiction. There's no way that could happen in real life, right? A man living in LA shared this strange video he captured one night while walking home. He says he noticed something floating above someone's house and it immediately caught his attention. It was dark, so the object isn't very clear in the footage, but you can tell something was up there hovering quietly above the rooftop before it suddenly flies off into the night. Now here's where the debate begins. Some people are saying this is definitely a UFO, especially because of the way it floated so still before moving off without making much noise. But others argue that it might just be a drone, maybe even one of those Amazon delivery drones. Those who've seen the drones like that in real life say it's kind of resembling one, but also note that the movement seems too quiet, which leaves room for doubt. So what do you think? If you love drinking tap water and live in the US, then this one's for you. Recent research has uncovered something alarming in much of the tap water across the United States. A highly toxic chemical known as Chromium-6 has been detected in the water supply of millions of Americans. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it's the same chemical made infamous by the real-life case of Aaron Brockovich. And yes, it's been linked to cancer, reproductive harm, developmental problems, and birth defects. What makes this even more unsettling is that Chromium-6 often goes undetected in routine water testing. It doesn't taste or smell any different, and the water still looks crystal clear, but the danger is very real. According to environmental groups, even trace amounts of this chemical over time can have devastating long-term health effects. So how does it get into the water? Chromium-6 typically seeps in through industrial waste from factories, manufacturing plants, and old cooling towers. And once it's in the groundwater or reservoirs, it spreads. Some cities have higher levels than others, but the truth is, this isn't just a local problem. We trust that when we turn on the tap, what comes out is safe, but in cases like this, that trust might be misplaced. I know I can't tell you what to do, but you might want to stop drinking water straight from the tap.
Here's an intriguing piece of footage from China. A man captured what appears to be a rectangular-shaped object hovering in the sky. The object is glowing and completely stationary. Now, there's some debate. Some people believe this could be the result of a blue beam projection, which can create optical illusions in the sky. Others think it could be something more, perhaps an advanced aircraft or even something otherworldly. What do you think? This image was taken in Canada. A man had captured this unusual object hovering in the night sky with distinct lights glowing underneath it. The lights are bright enough to illuminate parts of the object, giving it an otherworldly presence against the dark backdrop. Unlike the classic circular or disc-shaped UFOs often seen in popular culture, this object has a unique shape that defies easy categorization. Its unusual form and the strategic placement of lights under it make it stand out, leading to speculation about what it could be. Given the increased frequency of reports of oddly shaped aerial crafts, it's no wonder that many are quick to label this sighting as a potential UFO. The unusual structure and luminous appearance have led many to believe that this could be a high-tech craft, perhaps not of earthly origin. On the other hand, skeptics suggest this could be the result of a new advanced military technology or a drone with an unconventional design. What do you think?
Look at this dead insect, or at least what's left of it. Half of its body is eaten away and the inside looks torn apart like something ripped through it from the inside. By all accounts, this thing should be completely dead, and yet it's still moving and walking around. That's creepy, right? But what if I told you this isn't the first time we've seen something like this? These kinds of sightings have been popping up more and more, insects that appear hollowed out or mutilated, yet somehow still twitching, crawling, or dragging themselves around. Some believe it's the work of parasites like zombie fungi such as Ophiocordyceps, which take control of the host's body even after it's technically dead. Others say it could be nerve reflexes or post-death spasms, but that wouldn't explain how some of these bugs keep walking in straight lines or appear to act like they're still alive. Whatever the case is, this insect should be dead, but it's not, and that's disturbing. A family was driving home late one night when they encountered something truly strange on a quiet, dark stretch of road. At first, everything seemed normal until they noticed something unusual up ahead. In the distance, through the darkness, a series of strange lights began to flicker. At first, they thought it might be headlights from another car, maybe a reflection, but this wasn't any ordinary light. Floating above was a strange starfish-shaped object emitting a pulsating glow. The lights blinked in and out, and the object appeared to be moving up and down slowly, almost like it was bobbing in midair. They piled over to the side of the road and began filming. The object hovered silently in the distance. They watched it for several minutes, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. There were no wires, no sound, and no explanation. Some people believe this could have been a UFO. The strange hovering motion, the blinking lights, and the unexplainable shape all seem to fit classic UFO sightings. Others suggest it might have been a plasma entity, which is a naturally occurring but extremely rare phenomenon where energy takes on a visible free-floating form. Plasma life forms are often theorized by fringe scientists as a possible explanation for certain sightings that don't seem to match any known aircraft or animal. but skeptics say it was probably just a drone or a trick of the light. So what do you think it was? A resident in Andøya, Norway, shared this eerie footage that's baffling viewers everywhere. 4 bright green orbs were seen drifting upward into the sky, each leaving behind a trail of smaller orbs following in a curious weaving formation. The movement wasn't chaotic or rapid like fireworks, nor did it have the typical patterns you'd expect from drones or aircraft. Instead, these glowing orbs seemed almost deliberate in their ascent, moving gracefully in sync with one another. So what could they be? Northern lights are a common sight in Norway, but these lights had an unusual structure and were far more defined. Some suggest they might be flares from a military exercise, while others are leaning toward the unexplained, possibly some kind of advanced technology or a genuine unidentified aerial phenomenon. What do you think it is? Next, we've got this chilling ring camera footage from a homeowner who was left terrified after reviewing what their camera had captured. There, right by the entrance, stood a ghostly figure shaped like a skeleton, just hovering in the dim light. The eerie silhouette lingered on the side of the entrance for a while, almost as if it were watching or waiting. Then, without warning, it flipped and vanished into thin air. Imagine the shock of discovering something like this right outside your door. Was it a trick of the light, a glitch, or something otherworldly? Someone cracked open an egg and noticed this strange stringy thing inside. They took it out, wondering what it was. Well, this is called the chalaza. It might look weird or even a little gross, especially if you're not used to seeing it, but it's completely normal and not a bad thing at all. The chalaza is just a natural part of the egg. It's the little twisted rope-like structure that helps hold the yolk in place in the center of the egg. Kind of like a support system keeping everything stable. So no need to freak out if you see it. It's not a worm, it's just a sign of a fresh egg. This video from Romania has people all over the internet talking. A man was digging when he stumbled upon something embedded in some rocks in the soil. As he cleared away the dirt, a massive skull began to take shape. Just look at that, it's huge. But the real question is, what could this possibly be? At first glance, many thought it could be a dragon skull. The size, the structure, it almost looks like something pulled right out of mythology. Just look at those sharp features and the long shape of the jaw. Some are convinced it's proof that dragons or dragon-like creatures once walked the earth. But not everyone agrees, as expected. Those who disagree argue that it looks a lot like a dinosaur fossil, possibly the skull of a prehistoric predator. The argument is that dinosaurs are known to have existed, so the idea of finding a new or unidentified species isn't that far-fetched, especially in a region like Romania, which has a long history of ancient fossil discoveries. Still, the dragon theory has not gone away. Romania, after all, is a land rich with myths and legends, from vampires to forest spirits and, yes, even dragons. So it makes sense for people to tie this find to something out of folklore. There are some who also believe he's faking the whole thing, that he sculpted a stone to look like that. I won't pretend to be an expert on archaeological finds, but I'm sure there's one of you who knows about this subject. Care to enlighten and help us? Is this the real deal, or is someone just messing with us? I'm not the only one seeing the conical head and large eyebrow, right? This was recorded by a young lad exploring the woods. He heard the rustling of leaves and footsteps moving towards him. He took a defensive position and had his trusted camera in hand just in case evidence was needed on what happened to him. Fortunately for him, whatever it was also most likely trying to investigate his presence, as it hid in the bushes, also trying to observe him. This gave him enough time to take a picture and run out of the place. Now, he thought he had seen a Bigfoot, but it was not till he was home that he confirmed it was indeed a Bigfoot. At least that's the narrative he's sending around. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? Have you ever heard of casamarzu cheese? It's an unusual delicacy from Sardinia, Italy, known for its controversial ingredients. Casamarzu is a homemade cheese typically made from sheep's milk, but it's intentionally infested with live larvae. These tiny maggots added to the cheese help break down its fats and create an incredibly soft, spreadable texture with a strong, unique flavor. As the larvae moves through the cheese, they release enzymes that give it its distinctive taste and smooth consistency. However, because of the health risks associated with consuming live larvae, the sale of casamarzu is banned in many parts of Europe, even though it remains a cultural favorite in Sardinia. The cheese is so polarizing that people either love it or can't stand the thought of it. Would you ever give this daring delicacy a try? The theory of petrification isn't something that everyone believes in, but there are still some pretty wild pieces of evidence out there that make you wonder if it might be true. Someone recently shared an image of this strange-looking rock, and it doesn't even look like a rock. It looks like the head of a creature that's been turned to stone. You can see the mouth, the teeth, and even the overall shape of the face. It's honestly too realistic to just brush off. If you zoom in on some of the details, especially around the jawline, it resembles something that was once alive, almost like a petrified wolf. That's the part that's freaking a lot of people out. Now, while some believers think this could be an example of petrification, others are saying it's actually handmade, not a naturally formed rock. Still, even if it was carved, the level of detail has left people questioning if it's just art or maybe something more. Could petrification be real in some rare cases, or are we just seeing the work of a very talented artist? Still, on May the 16th, something else happened in St. Louis. A tornado swept through the area, catching a lot of people completely off guard. Many locals shared their experiences on social media, and one thing stood out. Some had no idea a tornado was even happening. They said it was just hit suddenly without warning. Two men who were working outside in a truck shared how they watched in shock as a tree fell right in front of them, and the roof was ripped off a nearby tractor. Thankfully, they were safe, but many homes and properties weren't so lucky. Now, here's where it gets strange. A commenter who claims they were also in St. Louis says there was a tornado warning 3 days prior and even mentioned a siren alert that lasted 2 hours. So now, who's telling the truth? Were warnings really issued and some people just didn't see them, or was something off with how the alerts were shared? If you were in St. Louis on May the 16th, let us know what you experienced, because if some people were informed and others weren't, we need to understand why. A group of friends had decided to search for the paranormal deep in the woods late at night. Despite hours of searching, they found nothing unusual. But as they drove back and were able to pull into the driveway, they noticed something strange. There was a shadowy figure moving around the car. They quickly cut the engine and grabbed a flashlight and their phones to record. When they shone the light toward it, they were met with a chilling sight. A dark, fur-covered creature standing about 7 feet tall, staring right at them. And just like that, the footage cuts off. It seems something may have followed them home from the woods. Could this be a dogman? We can't be sure. The footage was shaky, but whatever it was, it left them rattled.
Me deixa, meu Deus! Sai! Não vem não!
Now, I don't speak Spanish, but even I can tell that this is bad news. This was allegedly recorded by a guy who wanted the experience, the thrill of a haunted space. It's something he loved to do, and this love sent him to a haunted sewer system. I mean, anyone who can endure the smell of a sewer just so he can experience something paranormal certainly deserves a seat in this studio. After a bath, of course. While Aaron would certainly love to engage him, Julius thinks there's no point to the exercise. Yes, he did hear strange noises coming from the sewer, but ultimately there was no real face to these sounds. Yes, he did catch a glimpse of some small creatures, but didn't really get a good look because he was running scared. Is this something you would do, or do you think he placed his life in harm's way for no reason?
Me deixa, meu Deus! Sai! Não vem não!
Take a close look at this image. What do you see through that door? This was captured during a firefighter training exercise. The team was running drills in an abandoned house that had been set on fire as part of the simulation. Everything was going as planned. The team was moving in as instructed, preparing to enter through the front when someone noticed something strange. Right there at the open doorway, this eerie humanoid figure seems to be peeking out. At first, you might think it's just the flames and shadows playing tricks, but look closer. It's not just fire. This thing has shape and form, and what's creeping everyone out was the face. It almost looks like a person engulfed in flames, but somehow smiling, leaning slightly from behind the door frame and staring straight at the firefighters. But there was no one else inside the building. It was confirmed empty. Everyone is accounted for, so if that's not one of the firefighters and there's no victim inside, what exactly are we looking at? Some are saying it's just the way the fire formed for a brief second, an illusion, but others believe this could be some kind of entity that made itself visible for just that moment.